Hey everyone, this is Amber Key, and you're listening to a Bright Idea podcast, a show where I sit down with entrepreneurs to discuss the aha moments that launched their businesses. Today's conversation is a little different. I'm hosting a crossover episode with fellow journalist turned entrepreneur, Sommer Hill. Sommer Hill is a storyteller, entrepreneur, and cultural curator dedicated to creating experiences that move people from inspiration to action. She's the founder and CEO of Summertime, a media and events company built to educate, connect, and amplify the next generation of creators, entrepreneurs, and changemakers. In this crossover episode of a Bright Idea podcast and It's Summertime, we sit down to talk about how she went from NPR producer to building her own media company, and the bigger transformation happening across the journalism industry. We're talking about what drew Sommer to the media, how she built her own personal brand while working in traditional media, the moment she knew it was time to walk away, and what it really takes to bet on yourself. But this conversation goes beyond one career pivot. As newsrooms shrink, the media business model continues to evolve, and journalists face increasing burnout and uncertainty. More media professionals are creating their own podcasts, newsletters, production companies, and independent brands. So why are journalists leaving traditional media? What are they searching for that the newsroom can't provide? And is building your own media company the future of journalism, or simply another way to survive in a rapidly changing industry? Join us for a conversation about journalism, entrepreneurship, creative freedom, and what happens when you decide to stop waiting for someone else to give you a seat at the table and build your own. Before we dive in, if you like what we're doing here at a Bright Idea podcast, help us keep going. You can subscribe to this show to get notifications when new episodes drop. If you like what you hear, share this episode with someone who needs a little inspiration. And if you would like to support the show directly, you can donate to our Cash App at a Bright Idea podcast. Lastly, if you're a business owner or a brand looking to connect with our growing audience, we'd love to collaborate with you. You can sponsor an ad within one of our episodes or sponsor an entire episode. Just reach out to us to learn more information. Now let's get into it. Here's my conversation with Sommer Hill. Hey everybody, this is a very special episode of a Bright Idea podcast. Today I have on Sommer Hill. She is the founder, entrepreneur, podcast host of Summertime Productions. The reason that this is such a special episode is because we are talking today about journalists who had a traditional path working in the media and decided to go on and create their own path. And so first of all, how are you doing? And I'm so excited to be here with you today.
I'm excited to be on your podcast. Like, this is so cool. And it's a conversation that I think needs to happen because there's a true exodus of Black women leaving traditional roles. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that I'm a part of that exodus and you too, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So we're going to have to get into why we did it, how it's going. And I think this is going to be a really good conversation. But I'm good. I'm feeling a little chaotic right now, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so we just found out before this episode that we're both Geminis.
Both Geminis.
And we both celebrated our birthdays.
Yes, we did.
So it's still our season. Technically,
Always.
it's like one of those things we celebrate all year as a Gemini.
This is about to be the yappiest episode ever of two Gemini creators.
Yeah, so everyone can buckle up. Right. Yeah, because we have a lot to say today. No, but I'm so excited to talk to you because I've been following Summertime podcast for a while. What's funny is that you and I actually both started around the same time. I don't know if you knew that, but I remember I posted my first episode of A Bright Idea, and then I was seeing someone who was recently from Howard and like worked at NPR and created this podcast, and I was like, wait, the marketing is great. The play on words with your name and everything, and just the guests that you had on your show it was super cool and really intriguing. And just for the listeners, like, I just want to talk about some of your accolades and like your background a little bit. But one thing that I really loved is that your podcast focuses on modern day legends, entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, creators, and community leaders rather than traditional celebrity interviews. Mm-hmm. So you really, I've listened to a few of your episodes because I am a fan. I've dove into, or I listened to some of your episodes. What I really love is how you dive into the person and tell a deeper story than what we can get in quick clips in media. So I'm coming from TV, you're coming from radio, but or news radio, but you can't get deep with people. And one thing that I really love about your Summertime,
Summertime podcast, is that's what you do. And I really love that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So when I first started with Summertime, like the very first 4 episodes, they were just me talking to a camera. And it was like really quick and, not in depth. And then I transitioned to like some celebrity interviews at like Broccoli City and things like that. And it was also just quick. And I'm like, it feels good to be producing and creating, but like I'm like, there's something missing. So then I transitioned. I'm like, I've got to do long form. And the first long form episode was with Phil Lewis, the president of WABJ. And I was like, okay, this is my speed right here. So I had to work out some kinks, but like once I found that long form was allowed me to dive in and unpack, that's where I leaned into.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your background and sort of your origin story. So you are a Howard grad. You went to school for journalism. What sort of got you into that space?
So I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I moved around a lot growing up, but when I lived in Detroit, I took a black college tour. This church that I didn't even attend was like, hey, we're taking kids on a black college tour. So we took a bus from Detroit to DC, all the way down to Alabama, back to Detroit, and stopped at all the black colleges along the way. So our first stop was Howard. And when I got here, I wasn't really feeling it. Like, I was like, okay. I really wasn't into school at all. Like, I was like, I guess. But they gave us an application while we were there. So I was like, I'll apply. I applied and, submitted some more stuff on Common App. It was the only school I got into. I'm like, well, there you go. And so I got into Howard, and I originally got into Howard with the major of psychology because I like studying people and understanding people.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not getting my doctorate in this. So let me switch to something that I can climb a little faster. So then I switched to journalism, and the rest is history. How about you? Where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm from Pittsburgh, and actually, funny, I went to school in Westchester. I got a track scholarship, and I went there. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So
What'd
I
you
ran
run?
my whole life. I was cross country and then mid distance and track. So I ran the 800 and the 1500. And Howard was actually where I wanted to go to school. And I remember I had a college trip there, and they were like, your times just aren't there. Really? And I was like so crushed. But I ended up getting a scholarship to Westchester, ended up running there for 2 years. Nice. And it really was there that I was like intrigued with the stories behind the athletes, because I was always around athletes, always wanted to know, like, there's always a story about like the injuries and just the triumphs and the resilience, the upbringing, all the things. And so once I was like, okay, I'm a little done with this whole being at meets every single weekend while all my friends are partying, I was like, I think I'm gonna join the TV club. And then from there, I really wanted to be a reporter. But I feel like
you have a good reporter voice.
Oh, thank you.
You really
People
do.
say that.
You really do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But I actually didn't end up being a reporter. I went into I really was always interested in like the business side of the industry, particularly as a Black woman. Like, you see all these people on air, but I realized that they weren't the ones making the decisions behind the scenes. And so I figured that the only way to climb was to be on like the sales side first. So I learned a lot, but I was like, I'm creative and something is like pulling me to create. So like back to you though, like after college, like what was the path?
So switched to journalism in college. Got my first internship my junior year with NBC4 with Donna Weston. I'm going to always shout her out because she's the first Black woman that ever put me on and believe in me.
Yeah.
So I did NBC4, I did Fox, I did CBS. And then when I graduated, I didn't have an offer. I was like, well, what am I going to do? So I packed up my car, drove to New York, slept on my friend's couch until I figured it out. And of course, while I was up there, I am a hustler. So I'm applying to jobs, I'm working, I'm trying to figure things out. So I ended up getting an offer from BET and NBC on the same day.
I love that.
So BET offered me associate producer. NBC offered me the Page program. I really wanted to do BET because that was my dream job at the time. But I had been working with BET throughout college, so I had the experience, I had the connections. And one of my mentors from BET, Christine Mon, she was like, do NBC.
Yeah.
I'm like, for real? She was like, do NBC. So I went into the NBCU Page program, which is a rotational program, and it allows you to touch different parts of the business. So I was able to see like marketing, digital, video, DEI. And from there I went to CBS, and then I went to NPR.
I love that. For people that don't know about the PAGE program, it's like 3% acceptance rate. So you do have to have like skill to go there. And like, how does it set you up for a career in the industry?
Yeah. Well, you it really wasn't skill that you had to have. It was like hunger, like enthusiasm, like deep passion, deep curiosity. So I think they were able to recognize, you come in with a cohort. They accept four cohorts a year. I came in with the August cohort, so it's like 22 of us. What was interesting about that, though, is that like I was experiencing culture shock. And I want to hear from you about your like postgraduate, because going from an HBCU to corporate, oh my goodness grief. I was like, I'm not used to white people. I'm not used to these microaggressions. I'm not used to systemic racism inside of institutions.
Yes.
So I did a lot at NBC. Like I went around every black person I saw. I was like, hey, I'm creating a group. I created a group of black employees outside of Ben. And I used to have meetings with them, like, what are the injustices you're facing?
I love that.
Wrote them all down, sent the letter to the president, sent it to the PAGE program. I was like, this is not okay. So I was kind of really radical while I was there, but I'm not mad that I was. I'm happy that I was. But I learned there how to maturely handle professional dilemma, because I kind of went about it immaturely. But I was,
I was going to say, how, when you kind of went at it in a radical way, like how was it received?
So the black people that were part of the group that I was in, they were like here for it. They were behind me, but they're like, I'm not gonna be in front. I'm gonna do it from behind. And I was like, okay, cool, I got you. And then I think I like intimidated a lot of people. Like they were like, oh shit, summer's coming. Like, let's go ahead and straighten up in here. Or like I would comment on stuff like, okay, so we had a PAGE handbook, right? And it would tell us like how we can and cannot wear our hair, how we can and cannot dress. And I'm like, well, this doesn't apply to me. So you need to change this handbook so that it can apply. Like I don't have a messy bun like that. You know what I mean? So I think people felt a little intimidated about bringing me into the room because they knew I would comment on stuff. Like at the beginning we had an orientation. I'm like, why do you guys keep bringing in here white people? Like we see it's full of white people. Can we get some diversity? And I'm really commenting. So I don't know if they loved it, but it was helpful.
Did you feel like you were like a target after you spoke up in the workplace?
I applied for some jobs at NBC after that and didn't get any of them. I can't say it's directly because of that, but I assume that contributes to the reason.
I was asking because you asked me earlier, like what my background was, like going from college to then working in the workforce. And I went to a PWI. So I didn't have like, and I also grew up in Pittsburgh and came from like a pretty diverse background. But I didn't see it until I was in the workforce. Like there's something didn't see like the microaggressions, didn't see like that people didn't have to do any work and they were like getting these roles that they were not qualified for, or that by speaking up you kind of were like punished for that. And so one specific example, I remember I was working at Fox 5 and it was during George Floyd and they hadn't said anything. And we had people on our team that like run early in the morning, could have been Ahmaud Arbery. We had people that could have been Breonna Taylor. We had all of these like Black people that were, getting praised by like the ratings on TV or whatever, but inside of Fox 5, they weren't asking us if we were okay at all. And so I remember they sent out a survey and they were like, how can we do better? And it was anonymous, or it was supposed to be. And I like mentioned like, you guys, you need to do better. And then from there, I felt like I was like the target, that everything that I did was like magnified. And
I think that, not to skip ahead, but I think that's what contributes to this exodus, because it's like, you want us to be in here, sit down and shut up. I don't operate like that. Like our parents' generation maybe did, maybe even the one above us, but I'm not going to do that. And so naturally we are targeted. And then we also feel like, well, fine, I'm just not going to say nothing at all. Like it got to the point at NPR where I was like, I'm not even going to contribute. Like, I just sit here.
And you can't,
know?
and you can't do that.
That's not my character.
Yeah.
So I think that contributes to it.
Coming up, we get into the moment that changed everything about how Sommer saw the workplace.
So talk to me about, you get to NPR, which is world renowned. Like, that's a big job. What were you doing? And tell me a little bit about your experience there.
Yeah, so I got to NPR in 2022. I was the social media associate. So I managed our behind the scenes social media accounts: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook. I mean, at the time it wasn't Threads, something else. But anyway, so I'm managing all of that. I'm getting behind the scenes. I'm working with Tiny Desk. I'm working with the different departments. Yeah. I'm excited. Like, my very first project was Usher's Tiny Desk. Like, imagine that.
That's awesome.
So I was just in there excited. I was getting like Employee of the Year, like whatever. I don't even remember what it was, but like I was just in there moving and shaking. I was going on tour with the Tiny Desk. I was flying here, going there, and I was very excited about the work. I was energized about the work. Shout out to Anais Laurent, because she's the one who pulled my resume, Howard alum, the reason I was there. And I was on the communications team. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm feeling this. Like, this is the first place I feel like I can actually sit here and grow.
Yeah.
So, okay, a year goes by. I'm still feeling it. I get a promotion. I'm like, okay, I'm taking, like, this is what I want, what I need.
Yeah.
So then 2 years go by. And I'm like, kind of doing the same thing. 3 years go by. I'm like, I'm doing the same thing. And, you know, us Geminis, we can't sit and do the same thing over and over and over and over again.
We need new stuff all the time.
I cannot do that.
Yeah.
So I was starting to get annoyed, and I was starting to notice things and feel things and starting to see, like, okay, I keep on having these ideas, but they take so long to execute. And I keep on contributing in this meeting that keeps shutting me down. So I start noticing things like that. And then there was a moment that changed everything for me, like everything. So at the time, I had a roommate who also worked at NPR. And she was on a meeting. I don't think I've ever shared this publicly. But anyway, she was on a meeting, and we lived together. So, like, I can hear her meeting. She can hear mine. So she was on a meeting, and I was downstairs on a meeting. And I hear my name in the meeting. And I was like, so of course, my ears perk up. And he said, I want to name drop so bad because I do not like him. But he said, I don't care if it's Sommer's ideas. Take it and don't feel bad about it. I'm like, there's no way I just heard that correctly. So then he said, I want to reiterate, I don't care if those Sommer's ideas. Take them and don't feel bad about it. I was like, hurt. So
what'd you feel in that moment? Like,
oh my God, I was enraged.
Yeah.
Like, I was so pissed off because the reason I was mad was because I had felt that, but there was no confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
That was confirmation. I'm like, wow. So this whole time I'm being gaslit.
Yep.
Y'all are gaslighting me. So I was pissed. Like, I started crying because I was so mad because I was giving my all my creativity, all my time, all my strategy to this role, and people are just playing with me.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. So I'm thinking my brain turned off and it never turned back on at that point.
Stay tuned, because next, Sommer shares how that frustration turned into her building her show from scratch.
So, did you always think of yourself as like, one day I'll be an entrepreneur, or like, what was like what was the track? Like college you, where did you see Sommer?
Well, college me, I always wanted my own media company, and I always wanted to be a host. I remember I used to say that, and they used to be like, okay, she's dreaming big. Yeah.
I get that too.
I am. But when I was working at these corporations, the goal was to have my own show.
Mm-hmm.
So I pitched a show to NPR, and they were like, we like the idea. They were like, film some pilots. I filmed 3 pilots. They were like, these sound good. Crickets. I follow up, hey, what's up? Crickets. I follow up, what are we doing with the show? Crickets. I'm like, then finally someone gets back to me, hey, we're deciding we don't have the budget for this right now, but we'll circle back. 3 months later, show with the exact same concept comes out. I was like, okay. And it was a white woman host. I was like, all right, I got you. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it myself. And then Summertime was born.
When did you start Summertime outside of your job? Summertime
started June of 2023. So I remember one day I was sitting on my friend's couch and I was like, it's like, okay, come on. I've wanted my own show my whole life. And I'm like, what am I waiting on? So I just made a few calls. I'm like, hey, are you still a videographer? He was like, yeah. I'm like, I need you to record something. When are you free? He set the date. I'm like, all right, I got the date. I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Let me write these scripts. Wrote 4 scripts. Boom. I'm like, who's going to do my hair and makeup? Book that. Boom. And I was like, well, now all I got to do is show up. So that was like end of May 2023. And then dropped June 5th, 2023.
So you put together your whole team before you launched it?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a team, but yes, I called the individuals who were going to contribute to this first one.
Yeah. How did you come up with the concept of your show? What were you trying to do that you couldn't do at NPR?
So when I was at NPR, what happens is like, and even we were just talking to Nia about this, like you'll pitch an idea that you believe in. They're like, nah, we don't really like that. That's not really cool. Y'all don't know what cool is. Like, y'all look for us to tell you what cool is. Yeah. So, like I said, the first 4 episodes was just me to the camera, like just talking about stuff I was passionate about. So one was an introduction, one was trusting yourself, one was protecting the babies, and one was men and mental health. So then from there, that's when I started doing Broccoli City and seeing that. And then I sat down for the full length. And I was like, okay, here's my lane. It is healing through storytelling.
I love that. One thing that I really love about your platform that I've been able to witness watching you grow all these years is that, yes, you are a journalist, but you really have tapped into the marketability and the personal brand. And I feel that, working in traditional media, that's where we kind of fall behind. It's like people watch and gather their content in so many different ways. How are you going to capture that audience? I think you do a really good job of that. One of the things that I was reading in your accolades was that you were pitching that to reach the younger audiences for podcasting, you needed to have video incorporated in it.
How did you find that out?
Your website and your LinkedIn and all. I do my research, girl. Was that intentional, your personal brand, when you thought about Summertime, or did you just come up with the idea?
Well, I didn't mean for them to be this merged, because now I'm like, oh my God, like I cannot do anything else with my name in it. Like, this is enough.
Yeah.
And you really can't separate yourself from the person. I could never sell Summertime because it's my name. I could never separate Summertime from me. Like when I go out, it's not me, it's Summertime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't mean to really do that, but now that it's done, I'm not mad at it. I just got to be cognizant of it.
How did you, what worked best for you in terms of the audience growth and getting people to watch your stuff?
Listening to the audience. Like you have to, I asked them, I'm like, who do y'all want to see on the show? And they tell me. And so I just communicate with them. Like, I'm doing this for y'all, so y'all had to tell me what it is you want to see, what it is you don't like. Like, I am sensitive about feedback, but I listen to what they say and how they want to contribute. And when they show up, like I'm asking questions and talking to them. And I think that's important. Like, you really have to do your audience research.
Yeah. We see that, where I saw that in just the growth of your show. You posted a clip of, I think it was after an episode that you had done where you got like a bunch of followers. And I think the followers and the engagement is really what helps to drive the media platform and grow it.
Yeah.
For those people, I feel like it's really easy to say, I listen to my audience, but like, how are you doing that? For people that are watching that want to create their own brand, or journalists, if we're talking about journalists leaving their traditional industries and they want to create something on their own, like how were you able to do that?
I put polls on my story. I put questions on my story. I literally will say in the caption, like, comment what y'all want to see, what y'all want to hear, what y'all want me to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lean into in-person events more. So when I am in person, I'm asking them, I'm talking to them, I'm networking with them. And you know what else I'm doing? Like, if they want to be on the show, let's talk about it. And I have met a lot of people that I have brought on my show because I agree with networking. Like what we're doing right now, I think this is important for the community because I can hear from you, you can hear from me, and we can build together. So I try to do a lot of stuff like that.
Let's go back to NPR for a second. How were you balancing both, building your own platform and a full-time job?
I have no idea.
I don't know how I did it either, but I would love to know, like, if you just, like, tap into that part of your brain
So
try to remember.
Well, what I will say is that physically I was doing NPR, but like mentally and emotionally and spiritually in any other way, I was doing summertime. So I was showing up for the meetings. My camera would be on and I'd sit there and listen. But everything up here was summertime. Like there would be times where I'd be filming an episode and my NPR phone is blinging. They're like, "Summer, where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh shoot, hold on, y'all."
Were you like at work, like in person, or
No, it was
did you work
virtual.
from home? Okay.
So that was extremely helpful.
Yes.
The fact that it was virtual.
COVID helped a lot.
Oh my!
In that way.
I wouldn't have been able to. But what I will say is now that I've left NPR, the way that my mind has expanded, I'm like, okay, I understand. Because when I was there, I'm like, I don't have enough bandwidth to do summertime.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just need to free some mental bandwidth. So when I finally did, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
There's a world here.
There's a world, and there's just so much you can do now that you have the time.
So much. But
yeah,
you have to have the finances too.
When we come back, we talk about the financial realities of leaving a full-time job and going all in.
Yeah, I want to get into that too.
Yes.
So my goal is to then create a space where I can quit my full-time job and just run a
You're
bright
still
idea.
full-time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I left WSA 9 in 2024, and I actually went into sales where I'm in medical sales. So
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm in pharma. So I drive around to my doctors, and then I'll be like recording something on the side, or I'll be texting Nia like, "Hey, can we like reach out to this person?" So I'm doing all of that and a full-time job, because the reason I went into sales is because you pretty much have control over your income, and I knew that like I see my full-time job as like my investment into this company that I'm trying to build, but it's not easy at all. I mean, I'm dead tired every single day, and there have been times where I haven't been as consistent with the episodes because I just have so much that I'm juggling. So when did you know? Like, take me to that moment where you were like, okay, I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Oh, girl, I didn't put in 2 weeks. I put in 24 hours.
No, wait, really?
Yes, I did.
So were you like sick of it? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, so you remember I told you in 2023, everything shifted, right? So for 3 years, I was planning my exit. I'm like, I've got to leave. I don't know how it's going to look. So at first I just started applying to all these other jobs. Oh my gosh, I probably applied to 300 jobs. My resume is good for my age and for where I'm at. So I didn't get one interview. I didn't get one. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, is it the market? Is it me? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, okay. It was God. Like, no, you don't need another job. You need to focus on summertime.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that yet. So, okay, I'm applying to these other jobs for about a year. I'm trying. And then I was like, well, let me just invest this time in the summertime and just hold on to NPR to just fund me and summertime while I figure this out. So I spent another year doing that. And then 2026 hit. And I was like, still working NPR. But like, I'm at this point, I'm doing a terrible job. Like, I'm missing meetings. I am not, I'm putting stuff in AI and sending it. Like, here you go. Like, here's what you're looking for. I'm really not present at all. Like, I'm bad at my job to the point where I'm getting written up. Like, I'm doing so poorly because I'm just not there.
Not there, yeah.
And so, okay, so a Thursday and Friday roll around. My sister was like, take off work today. Like, just take off and work on summertime. I'm like, you know what? I think I will, because I had some sick days. I'm like, let's just see how it feels. So Thursday and Friday, I took off work and I just worked on summertime. And it felt so good. Sunday rolled around and I was like, I can't do it. Like, you know how Sunday scaries?
Yes.
It felt like that, but it was like 10 times worse. It was like, I was like, I can't
I've been there,
do it. So I like said some prayers, made a few pacts with myself, like little things like, okay, if I see a yellow, this type of car, that's a sign. Girl, I'm just doing a whole bunch of stuff like that, trying to figure it out. And then I called my cousin and he was like, you're trying to make this a logical decision when it's a spiritual one. And I'm like, ooh, you're so right. So the next day, I was like, whatever feeling I feel in my stomach when I wake up in the morning is what I'm going to lean into. So that Monday morning, it was quit. So I sent that note. I was like, hey, today's my last day.
And that was when?
March 2nd.
Of this past year of 2026.
Yes.
And since then, how has the podcast grown? How has the production company grown?
In ways I never would have imagined.
Yeah.
So we're in season 5 and it's going well. Could be better, but it's going well. I launched a supper club and I just launched summer schools, and the amazing part to me is like how much more creative I am now. Like before, I wasn't even, all of this stuff was just a thought. Like it wasn't execution, but I've been able to execute on so many things and just see how creative I am, and like how much I interact with the community, and like how important that stuff is to me, and how owning my own time, which is the first thing I've ever done. This is the first time I've ever owned my own time in life. Because think about it, you go from school to work, you don't never own your own time. And now that I do,
time too. Yeah.
Oh, my life feels like I feel so liberated.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier about the financial piece of it. Did you have a financial benchmark before you left? Did you have like an emergency fund or anything like that?
So, okay, I wanted to have a financial benchmark. In February, I said, if I can do this same month, February is my first 10K month. I'm like, if I can make 10K off summertime for 6 months, I'll quit. I quit the next month. So, didn't follow through on that. But I did have money saved up because, like I told you, for 3 years, I had been saying I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
So I was intentional about putting some aside. So you need an emergency fund, because when you first leap, like, it never goes as expected. You need the cushion.
Yeah.
You need the cushion. So I would 100% have an emergency fund.
Not to mention, we're in D.C.
And I own a home.
Yeah.
I have a mortgage. Like, I can't just not pay my bill. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You need an emergency fund.
So a lot of, one of the things I wanted to bring up was just this interesting statistic I found, which was, so the University of North Carolina has an innovation in sustainability, like, for local media, like, foundation. And they did this study that said that 79% of reporters or journalists reported work-related burnout. And among them, among those who left local journalism, and 39% moved into entirely different industries. So they went on to we see a lot of people that leave the industry go into communications and PR and like higher education. But there is this new sort of trend, this influx of journalists leaving traditional media to start their own things, as we're talking about today. And we know that one of the reasons that people leave local news is because of the pay. So for somebody leaving local news and going into starting their own, like, how do you get those sponsorships and advertising and essentially become your own salesperson to build your platform?
Girl, I'm gonna tell you when I figure it out. For me, it has been all about relationships. Like, anyone who has sponsored me, I've had a relationship with, and like a professional relationship with. Like, for example, Ari Davis, she sponsored one of my members for the podcast bootcamp. Jermon Williams from Views sponsored my dinner the other day. These are all people I'm in connection with, I talk to frequently, I check in on, I do projects with. So I would recommend just being well connected in the work that you do and doing good work with them. So they'll want, like, they sponsored those when they were when there was no proof of concept, when it was an idea.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So you've reached out to these people that you've had business relationships with and just asked them for money.
Just ask them for money. Hey, I'm doing this.
I feel like you should have been in sales if it didn't work out with...
You know, my dad says that often.
I feel like you're a salesperson.
You have to be. You have to be everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. So where does social media come into play? Do you get partnerships and brand deals?
I do. But so remember how we were talking and I was like, I'm really not a content creator. Like, I create content based off the work I'm doing.
Right.
But like, to sit there and now I'm wearing that's really not my vibe.
And I think it blurs the lines between... It
does. It can.
Yeah.
So I post on social media. Okay, I look at social media as a tool. That's what it is to me. Strictly a tool to build, to grow, and to connect. So everything I post on there is with that thought in mind. So yeah, of course I would love some, who is this? Yankee Candle, if you want to sponsor, I'll put your product here, but I don't want to be like, everyone, this is Yankee Candle, and it smells like, I'm not doing that. But
the difference.
Product placement and things like that, I am conscious of, and I try to utilize that in social media.
Let's go back to how you're navigating your network to get sponsorships. Mm-hmm. What do these sponsorships look like? Like, how much are you asking for? And are there deliverables that are required?
Yes. So what I do is I offer tiers. Most people go for the lowest tier, so I try to be strategic about where I place that lowest tier. So for example, Ari sponsored one of my boot campers. That was $1,000. It was $1,000 per boot camper. I had a friend who saw that Ari sponsored it and said, hey, I'll match what she sponsored. So now I got 2,000. Views. He wanted to just come and talk to the ladies and tell them about his new app. So he came, talked for 10 minutes, he gave me 500. So it really varies. I've had sponsorships from all different sizes depending on the deliverable. Mm-hmm. And then each tier will give a different amount of deliverables, right? So tier 3, I'm offering you a actual commercial during my episode. Tier 1, I'm offering you a story post or Instagram post.
I love that.
So you just got to be strategic about what you want to do and what you will allow and how much is the minimum you need, because they're mostly going to go for the minimum.
Now that you're on the other side and you've left your traditional media job, what do you think that traditional media companies are missing?
Girl, sauce. They have no sauce. None at all. They have strategy, mm-hmm. and that's what has been difficult implementing into my own company. They have no sauce. They do not know what's cool at all.
That's so funny.
It's so unfortunate because there's so many cool people that work there, like Nia,
yeah.
who is this is a good project. This is a good story. We need to do this. And they're they want to argue with you for months.
Yeah.
No, you're wasting time. We could have put this out and it went up. It went up when she did it.
Yeah.
So it's why don't you believe in the people who are bringing the sauce?
Yeah. There's also a lot of red tape.
Yeah.
As to what they can and cannot do.
But it's fake. It's fake. And then there's a lot of they're slow. They're so slow. Mm-hmm. You have an idea in January. It's not launched until June. It's
so true.
I had the idea to launch Summertime in May. Had my first one in June.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
So what advantages do you think that independent journalists have by doing their own thing?
Creative control and autonomy, connection, sauce, mm-hmm. Freedom to I can for example, one of these corporate companies maybe don't want to get sponsored by a political company or by a liquor company. I don't care. Give me the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, obviously I'm not gonna lean a certain way I don't believe in, but money is money to me. Give me the money.
Yeah.
So that type of freedom.
Coming up next, we get into how the creative vision turns into a full-time business with multiple streams of income.
Let's talk about your media company.
Mm-hmm.
What does your business look like today?
Oh my gosh, this is why I feel so chaotic. Okay, so we have Summertime Productions, which is the umbrella.
Love.
Under this umbrella, I have 5 different revenue streams. The first one is Summertime Podcast. Okay, the first one is talking. Mm-hmm. That's split into Summertime Podcast and moderating and hosting events.
Okay.
The next one is food. This is the Supper Club. The next one is education. Within the education, I have Summer School, which is the new event that I'm putting on.
Yeah.
I have podcast consultations, so I talk to people and teach them how to build their own podcast. And then I have the podcast boot camp. And then I have merch, and then I have my newsletter.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
No, I love that. And I think that's really you taking the journalism side, but also the entrepreneur mindset in building this vertical integration where you're making revenue on all these different areas, but still with Summertime Productions at the top. Yeah. What would you say, which revenue stream does the best for you?
Education.
Okay.
So far, they fluctuate. But so far, education has been most lucrative.
What would you say is something that people misunderstand about going out and doing something on your own?
Ooh. I'll tell you what I misunderstood. I knew it was going to be hard work, but my goodness grief. Okay, so this is what I like to say. So March 2nd, I quit NPR, right? So it felt like I jumped out of a plane.
Yeah.
And for the first few days, I was just free falling. I felt like a fairy. Like everything felt like ethereal. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. Like I'm just free falling. It's exhilarating. It's scary, but it's like, wow. Okay, then you smack the water, right? Reality hits. Then you're treading and 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 you're treading. Treading. So, but you see the horizon.
Yeah.
But you gotta swim there. And that is a long swim. God willing it's not, but it's a long swim. And it's hard and you're getting tired and you're trying to stay afloat.
Yeah.
And there's things biting at you. You're hungry, you're sleepy. But you gotta swim to the horizon. So right now I'm swimming to the horizon. I can see it. I'm not there yet, but I can see it.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And there's no way on God's green earth for you to prepare yourself for that.
Being an entrepreneur is one of the loneliest experiences because it is like the amount you can read all of the books in the world, you can have the mentors, but it's really like a spiritual experience. It's a mental game. What sort of support do you have behind you?
Yeah, you're right. It's super spiritual. This is the most spiritual journey I have ever been on in my life. My parents are very supportive. Thank God for my parents. They are extremely supportive. I called them the day I wanted to quit, and they were like, I mean, we got you.
That's awesome.
Either way it goes, we got you. And I was like, thank you, Jesus, for giving me these parents. They're they were up here waiting on my supper club, like bringing out drinks and plates and stuff. Like,
I love that. We love
super supportive. So they supported me. My community really. You know who's most supportive? Other entrepreneurs.
Because we're all going through it.
Because we understand, and I am now way more supportive of other entrepreneurs. Like anybody, if you're an entrepreneur, I got your back because I know what this feels like. So I have developed like a new community of entrepreneurs who are all out here doing. I want to be the brokest in the room. I want to be the least smart in the room. Like I have developed a community of people that are extremely smart, extremely talented, and rich. And that's what I want to be around.
Yes, the sustainability. Yes. We're running out of time, but I want to ask, like,
already?
What skills from journalism do you think helped you most as a founder?
Curiosity. Like, I'm not scared to ask somebody, like, what does that mean? What are you talking about? Explain this deeper. Where did you get that from? What is your source? Like, you really have to dig into what someone is saying in order for you to understand so that you can do it. Like, there should never be a meeting where I'm confused. Ever.
Yeah.
There should never be a meeting where I walk away like, what just happened? Like, I need to understand everything to the T. And I think journalism fostered that in me, the need for curiosity.
If you were graduating from journalism school today, would your dream job still be working at a legacy news station, or would you have started your own media company?
I would have started it, but I also would have done because the institutional knowledge is helpful in strategies and operations and connections. So I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
And I would still get that while I'm still young and willing to listen to rules. But you couldn't pay me to go back to corporate now. Like, I could not fathom going to an office right now or work or having an answer to someone. Oh my God. I couldn't even, no.
What's next for you? What's next for Summertime Productions?
Yes. That question overwhelms me because there's so much. So my supper club is going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to invite people and have beautiful conversations over food. Summer schools, we have our first event happening on July 9th with Ari. We're teaching folks how to build a brand. And I'm partnering with different experts throughout the city. I'm going to continue to foster those podcasts. I'm on the road to 100 episodes.
Love.
I think I'm at like 83.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I plan to get to 100 by the end of this season, and then I'll have a live show. But yeah, I need to be at all the things. I need to be at Martha's Vineyard. I need to be at Con. I need to be at Essence
I'll
Fest.
be at Martha's Vineyard this
Really?
summer. What week are you going?
I haven't booked it yet because I can't find a house.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
there should be like some bed and breakfast though.
Girl, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Well, the week I want to go. When are you going?
I'm going the week of the 22nd.
Oh, the end
July.
In July.
Yeah.
I didn't know folks went in July.
Yeah.
You're just going for fun, or you're going to do some
My
work?
sister's turning 30.
Oh, cool.
But yeah. So
I feel like I didn't hear enough from you in this conversation.
What about? What do you want to know?
And pretty much everything you asked me, like, I want to know.
We should do another episode then. Yeah, let's do that.
We can do that.
We can do that. Before I let you go, though, it's like a bright idea tradition to do a rapid fire.
Okay.
So I want to play rapid fire with you.
Let's play.
Okay. What's the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Quitting my job.
Okay. Best investment you've made in yourself?
House.
I want to learn more about that. We'll talk about that offline. Okay. A career lesson you learned too late?
Can't trust everyone.
Period.
As a matter of fact, don't trust none of them.
Have you had to learn that while
Yes.
in your business?
Yes.
Okay.
I've learned that in life, period.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very trusting. I've got to stop that. No, I've got to be more discerning. That's what I have to do.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Love all, trust few.
Yep.
Is that how it goes? I think something like
that.
that. One thing journalists should stop doing.
Using AI.
Mm-hmm. Stop using AI or use it differently?
Use it. It's a tool.
Yeah.
It is a tool. It's not your research partner. It's not developing questions for you.
Can you tell?
Especially, yes.
Yeah.
Can't everybody?
Some people have been good. Some people have gotten good. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I can.
I'm like this cat.
I can definitely tell if it's ChatGPT, but like Claude and like Gemini and stuff, like I'm like, oh.
I can tell when something is AI written. And
Okay.
I hate when I get on an interview and the questions are. I'm like,
Did you do your research?
right.
It's not giving.
Right.
One thing entrepreneurs should start doing.
Saving money.
Period. What's your next bright idea?
Summertime travels.
Wait, like trips?
Okay, I want to do something. Yes, I want to do traveling, and I also want to create my own studio, summertime studios, where it's like a physical studio, physical location. People can come film and do all the things.
I love like a content house.
Yeah, kind of.
I love that.
Yeah.
You have bright ideas. You have
Thank
big
you.
ideas.
Thank
and
you.
I'm so happy you left and are taking a chance on yourself. And I know it's not easy every single day, but God's got you.
Amen.
When we come back, we talk about the real life side of entrepreneurship, from benefits to self-accountability.
So on the financial tip, what are you doing about healthcare and benefits?
Great question. Well, thank you, Jesus. I have not gotten sick, and I made sure before I left to get all my appointments done, all my checks, vision, dentistry, gynecology, etc. So I haven't had an appointment since. However, I just found out if you go to like health.gov, like your state, so marylandhealth.gov, you can sign up for benefits, and they'll like assess your financials and provide you a package based off your financials.
Okay.
So I haven't actually signed up yet because last time I went on, the Maryland site was down, but I'm gonna go back and do that because I need to do that.
Yeah.
And you get good benefits for cheap.
Okay.
You pay monthly.
So that's on the healthcare side. On the like other benefits like your 401k or your Roth IRA, like do you have something set up that you're contributing to in lieu of not having a traditional 401k through a job?
Yeah, so when you get a 401k, even if you leave a job, you still have that. So I still have it. It just now the contributions look different. So instead of like bi-weekly, it's whenever I get paid.
Okay.
I'll put some in. So I just got a financial advisor. His name is Isaiah Williams with Audible Health, and he now manages all my finances and helps me make like smarter decisions around finance. And when I get paid, me and him talk about, okay, what needs to go here, what needs to go there, what needs to go there.
Yeah. What is your advice for people that are independent journalists that are creating their own thing? Like that is something that people do think about. Like in traditional media, the pay might not be great, but the 401k and like some of these other benefits are good. What if you know any institutions or know any resources out there that people can be a part of in lieu of those benefits? Do you know?
Girl, if you find something, let me know because I don't. What I do is, like I said, I ask my entrepreneur friends, like, what do y'all do for benefits? And, some of them have kids, so you need some type of health insurance. But yeah, that's what they typically do. They just pay for it themselves out of pocket every month.
I would love to have someone on my show that like works in like the bank space or investment space that works specifically with entrepreneurs because there's so many creators out here.
I can connect you with Isaiah if you want. He has his own company and it's super good.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I can connect you.
So now that you're your own boss, before you had to answer to someone else, how do you answer to yourself, and how are you holding yourself accountable and motivating yourself during like tough times?
Girl, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I have to eat. I'm tired. I want to sleep, but I can't till I get it done. Like, the thing is, I've never struggled with discipline. I'm a very disciplined individual. If I say I'm going to get it done, I'm going to get it done. I'm also a woman of my word, and I hold that very... It boils down to the values and the principles and the morals that you hold deeply for yourself. Those are the ones I hold deeply for myself, so I'm going to answer to them. And if I don't hold myself to those, I can't hold anybody else to them. You know, I have very high expectations for myself and everyone else. So if I say I'm going to get it done, I'm going to get it done. If we need to be there by 12, I'm going to be there by 12, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't have issues with answering to myself, because I'd rather do that than anything else. If I don't answer to myself, I got to answer to another boss.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, I love that. This wasn't a question that I had on here, but I usually always ask my guests, like, how would your parents describe you?
Well, okay, I think both my parents would both call me a hustler. They would both say I work very hard. My dad may call me a brat. I'm not going to lie. My mom would call me... my mom calls me a boss babe. So they think I work hard, but they also know that, like, I'm doing this all because I want to get them I want to buy them a house. I want them to have a good life. I want to retire my parents. Like, I want my nephews to be able to go to school, and my nieces, based off the decisions I make, like, send them to college, you know? So they know I'm doing this all for the greater good.
Does any of this surprise them, or...
They say it does, but I'm like, why are you guys surprised? Like, they were concerned about who I was going to turn out to be, because, like I told you, I wasn't interested in school, like, you know?
What was high school Summer like, though?
Oh, my goodness me. She was unruly.
Okay.
She was unruly. She didn't care. Like, the thing was, it was just, I don't care about math and science. Like, put me in some music class or something. I don't know. So, you know, like, structured schooling was never beneficial for me. I don't learn that way, and I don't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, based off what was structured, I know I wasn't doing well. But, like, my social life was great, and they didn't consider that a skill at the time.
No, it is. That's why you've been able to pull sponsorships.
Exactly. So they're
You're
surprised by that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I mean, your story isn't uncommon. I feel like you were destined to be an entrepreneur. You just maybe at the time didn't know that was your path.
I agree.
That's awesome.
I agree now.
Yeah. I think we're good.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode of A Bright Idea Podcast. This week's episode featured podcast host and entrepreneur, Sommer Hill. If you would like to learn more about Sommer, you can follow her on social media at Sommer Hill and listen to her podcast at It's Summertime. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us bring on more stories like Sommer's. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at A Bright Idea Podcast for updates. And if there's a topic or a guest you'd like to hear from next, drop us a message. If you would like to support the show directly, you can donate to our Cash App at A Bright Idea Podcast. This episode was edited by Quincy Tucker. And until next time, I'm Amber Key.